that's how you class whether a hadith is reliable or not.
Wow. Let's just brush it off as it's not reliable. It's not reliable, I promise. It's not reliable. You can't rely on it. God damn it. Oh God.
Right.
So basically what you're saying is just, yeah, it's not reliable. That's it. That's what you're using to obfuscate from the point.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not even trying to be rude, but I just feel like it's just like, I'm trying to come at this from a place of understanding where your point of view is, what you believe.
Right.
Listen, I don't despise you. I see you as a normal person. I have no hate towards you. But it's just kind of like, come on, like really? Like 9? 9.
9.
9 years old. Come on. You know that's like, come on now. You know that's not
Zainab, I'm not doing this for him to understand. I'm just doing this to understand his point of view.
right. But listen, if you do want to actually debate these points properly, the ones above me, since we've been on this topic for quite a while, I
Mhm.
can happily debate you if you.
I just still don't understand how you can think having children is wrong when existence, if one does
Would
not
you say
exist, how
existence?
can
Would you
you?
say existence is harmful or painful?
No,
Will everyone go through some sort of pain?
not necessarily.
No. So there's people who've gone through zero pain through their life.
I'm sure there are.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you just want to be dishonest, but you know what? Fine. Would you say there are some people who regret living their life? Regret
Yeah, of
living.
course there are.
Would you agree that there's a chance that people being born can regret living their life?
Yeah.
So basically, when you have a child, you're gambling on the fact that they may regret living their life or not.
If you use that logic, you can say everything you do in life is a gamble.
No, but in
Okay,
this
can I
sense,
ask you a
it didn't
question?
have to happen. What's your question?
You don't plan on ever having kids.
Again, that's nothing to do with this. You don't.
It
That's
kind
nothing
of
to
is.
do.
If you're saying having children is wrong, I'm going to make the assumption you don't want kids, right?
And what would be the issue with that?
I'm just asking you. There's no issue. I'm asking you if you plan on having children or not.
Okay, so essentially, that's a red herring. I don't know if you know what a red herring is. It's basically when you distract from the conversation at
I
hand.
know. No, I'm not distracting from the conversation. I'm changing the conversation. I'm asking you, would you want to have children or not? Thank
Again,
you.
you're changing it because you realize that you're incorrect. Let me ask you another.
No,
Let me ask
can
you
you
this.
answer my
Let me put
question
it this way.
though? Like genuinely.
Do you think rape is bad?
Yeah.
Why is it
I
bad?
heard you say this multiple times. There's no consent, and
Why
then
is
you're
it
gonna tell
bad?
me, "Oh, you can't
Okay.
consent to being born." I know that, and I asked you. I said to you, "You cannot." Oh my God, sorry. You cannot consent to being born if you do not exist. You don't have the conscious mind to give consent or to not give consent. How is
Okay,
that?
let
Okay,
me change
explain
it.
it to me. Explain it to me.
What about if you raped an unconscious person? Is that okay?
No,
But why is it wrong?
because they do not have the conscious mind to consent or not give consent either.
Before you're born, do you have the conscious mind to consent?
There is no existence. Your mind, your
Exactly, you can't
consciousness does not
consent. There's
exist.
no consent. You cannot consent to anything. That's the whole point. There
You
you go.
cannot.
Just like when you're unconscious, there's no mind there to consent. Like if you go to an unconscious person and you ask them, "Do you want something?" They won't give you an answer. They can't consent to it. So if you do something, it will be consensual. Just like being born, you are forcing someone into the world without their consent. That's why having children is wrong. Okay?
Okay, having children is wrong, right? Do
Yeah.
you believe relationships are worth anything? I've accepted your point. I've accepted your
Okay.
point.
Thank you. So you agree having children is wrong?
I don't agree. I've accepted your point of view, and I'm saying, okay, it makes sense for you to believe.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, do you want to go into the next topic then?
What? Why incest is wrong?
Yeah, because this is going to be an interesting one. Because obviously debating three people at once isn't the easiest, but I'd love to debate you.
Honestly, I don't think I'm well spoken enough to argue this point with you.
Okay,
But I'll try. I'll try.
okay. Do you find it to be wrong?
Yeah,
Why is it wrong?
because you are willingly choosing. I think we spoke about this before, but you're
Okay, so I
willingly
mean,
choosing.
so you don't have any issue with incest. That's good.
I
Nice.
do have an issue with incest
What is the issue then?
because it's morally wrong.
Why is it morally wrong?
Because you are choosing to bring in a child into the world who you know is most likely going to have issues further on in life. You
And so
guys are
you
telling me you
acknowledge.
can debate him. I'm not choosing who can be here and be not on the live. If you want to be on the live, request. I cannot.
So you can acknowledge that people who are in poverty, people with certain genetic disorders, should not be having children, or it would be morally wrong for them to have children. Is that what you're saying? No way she ran. No flipping way she got.
Me. I didn't run. I clicked off the app.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is that sorry. So basically, what you're saying is that people with what do you call it? Intellectual. Sorry, not intellectual, but people with disability, genetic disability, shouldn't have children.
No, I'll tell you why. With genetic disabilities, there is no you cannot. Do you know what I mean? You cannot change your life to bring out a kid that could not. When you choose
Right.
to
So would it be morally wrong for them to have
listen. Can I finish? When you choose to, for example, have a baby with someone you're closely related to, you could have made that choice to not go for someone who you know. Like, do you know what I mean? You could go for someone you're not related to and bring forth a child who will have a way lower chance of being disabled, but you chose to go for
The
someone
point is
knowing
this, is
your
that
child will now have a way higher chance.
you'd agree it'd be morally wrong for them to have children.
For who?
People who have genetic disorders that they can pass down.
No,
to
I
them.
don't agree.
What? So why wouldn't it be morally wrong in that scenario where you know you can harm your child, but it would be wrong in the case of incest where you also know you can harm your child?
Because in the case of incest, you can choose to not make that decision and not bring
Just
forth.
like in the case of the genetic disorder, you can choose to not make that decision, right?
No, you can't.
What?
Because no, listen. If you want, no, I'm talking about. Okay, you want a child. Cool. This genetically disabled person wants a child, and someone who wants to engage in incest wants a child. If you are genetically disabled and you want a child, you cannot change anything about the way you're living your life to lower the chances of your child.
I know exactly. So it would be morally wrong to
But
have
if
a
you
child.
want to engage in incest, you can. You like.
Just
you know
answer the question. You can also do that by not doing the same thing as people with incest, not having any children. In both cases,
No, I'm not saying.
So why is
If you just don't engage in incest, if you just get with someone who is not your family member, you can have children that you will love the same. You will not have a high chance of being disabled.
So in the case where someone has a genetic disability, it's the same case. They can also
No, it's not, because they cannot control their genetic disability.
And do you think you can control who you're attracted to?
Regardless, if your point is to have children, if your point is to have children, and you know what? I don't know where I was going back. You can still go forward and have children with someone who is not related to you.
Can you control who you're attracted to? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so are you heterosexual?
Somewhere in the middle, maybe, probably. You know what? Yeah, sure.
Damn, we got a very progressive Muslim here. Very good to see. Okay, somewhere in the middle. Okay, well, I had to go off the assumption that you can't choose who you're attracted to. Like, I can't just choose to be homosexual. I don't think that's how sexuality works. But regardless, the point is that if they can't choose that and they're two consenting adults, what exactly would be the issue?
Because you know what? Okay, you can't choose who you're attracted to, right? You can choose who you want to make children with. You can make that. You can control your urges. People are not animalistic to the point where you cannot control your well, okay, maybe some people are, but you do not. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you don't. You don't have to sit there and go for someone just because you're attracted to them, knowing your child will come out disabled. At the end of the day, you can control your urges enough to have a child that will not be disabled, to give them a better life. When you're genetically disabled, you cannot make that decision.
No, I'm sorry.
Why not?
Sorry.
Why not?
You're misguided. Because again, these individuals can't choose who they're attracted to, number one. Number two,
they may be attracted to someone in their family. They don't have to go ahead.
You'd have to say people have genetic disorders that they can pass on to their children, like sickle cell, Down syndrome, Huntington's, that have a high chance of hurting their children's quality of life. It would be morally wrong for them also to have children, because again, in the same case, they can pass on a genetic disorder that can harm the child.
I don't think you're listening to me.
In both cases, they can refrain from having children. You're just simply avoiding my argument.
I don't think you're listening to me. You're avoiding my point. Don't look at me like that, because you are avoiding my point.
Ma'am, are you being serious?
Are you being serious?
Like,
well, I know you're not, but...
I feel like you're trolling me. Like, did you hear what I said? Like, what is the relevant difference between those two scenarios that makes one okay but the other not?
Because even if you are attracted to a family member, you do not have to go forward and have sex with intercourse with them. I don't want to get banned. And bring forth a child with a high, with a high chance of being disabled when you can go and marry someone who looks exactly the same, have intercourse with someone who looks exactly the same. If it's just a physical attraction, if it's a
You
base
know
level
what?
physical attraction,
You know what? Let's remove reproduction. Would that still be an issue?
would incest still be an issue if reproduction was not in the question?
That's the question. Well done.
Yeah.
What would be the issue now? Who's being harmed now?
It's just gross. Well, you know what? This is my personal opinion now. It's my
Okay,
personal
so you
opinion.
said it's just gross. Okay. Are there members of the male sex who you'd find it gross to engage in intercourse with?
Are there members? Say that again.
Are there members of the male sex who you'd find it gross to engage with intercourse with?
Yes.
Would that be morally wrong if you did do it?
In my opinion, yes.
You see the issue when you say something that you find disgusting automatically means morally wrong, and you're conflating the two as being the same thing. Yeah, for
Okay,
example,
fair enough, fair enough, fair enough,
name me a food
fair
that.
enough.
Okay, all right. Okay, so again, just because you find it disgusting, I do too. I agree with you. I find it disgusting, but doesn't make it morally wrong. Just like if I do something with the same gender, I might find that disgusting. Doesn't make it morally wrong just because I find it disgusting. I might find a certain food disgusting. Doesn't mean if I eat that food, it's morally wrong. Do you understand?
Damn.
Okay, well, you did say that you were bisexual, no?
I said somewhere in the middle.
That's amazing. God damn it. And I can't wait to see a future feminist in the making. Let's go. That's very
What?
good to hear. I mean, that's very progressive, I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm happy you can express yourselves. And this is what I like about women, because women are free to be like, I'm somewhere in the middle. You can express yourself and it's perfectly okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Being
Anyway,
fat is okay.
do you disagree with that?
I mean, it's a very broad statement. It's a very, umbrella term statement. What do you mean by being fat is okay?
Do you find an issue with being fat? What's wrong with being fat?
If there is a morbidly obese person and they are making no moves to change their life and be better, you think that's okay? You think it's okay to let them harm themselves continuously?
What is wrong with that? Wait, no, I mean, as in, like, again, that would be an unhealthy person. I don't disagree with you that being unhealthy is not good, but being, like, fat does not necessarily indicate that you're unhealthy.
Um, it depends how fat we're talking.
Exactly, and that's the point. So, would you say someone who's, like, little chubby, that's not okay for them to be a little chubby? That they're
Little
doing it?
chubby and fat are different. Fat
No,
means fat. A little chubby is
fat
there's
just
a
means
reason
having,
it's been given a different name.
no, man, fat just means having excess flesh, okay? So,
Hmm.
would you disagree that, would you say that someone who has excess flesh, that's morally wrong for them to have excess flesh?
Hmm. No.
Okay, so don't think that being fat, because that is literally the definition of fat. So you don't think that being, so you think being fat is okay?
I mean, yeah, I didn't say it wasn't. I just read the point out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, oh, one moment, sorry.
It's
Well,
fine. I
I
think I'm done here, to be
appreciate it.
fair.
Pardon?
I think I'm done here, to be fair.
I